That's just wrong. Everybody, welcome back, Dudes Who Bet Daily. July 28, 2023, big racing weekend coming up. We've got Saratoga, we got Del Mar, we got a mandatory pick six payout on Sunday at Del Mar. Not sure if you knew that one, Magic, but it's going to be a monster horse racing weekend. Baseball in full swing, NFL training camps going down. Couple key injuries yesterday. My Dolphins lose Jalen Ramsey for an extended period of time. Sounds like he won't be back till sometime during the season. And Joe Burrow now has a calf issue that we're finding out about. He had a wrap on it yesterday. He hobbled off the field, hobbled to a cart and was carted off the field. Didn't seem like there was a ton of concern there, but it's still a little bit scary, isn't it, Magic?
If you're a fan of that team, yes. If you're not, if you don't give a shit about him, if you're like, whatever, or you think the hype is a little bit too much on him, I don't care.
Pretty interesting, too. DraftKings, the total was 11.5 when the injury happened. They take it down, and they repost the win total for the Bengals at 10.5 off no real information. So kind of crazy there that you drop a full win off a Burrow hobbling off the field without any other information. So we'll see what happens there as those markets continue to progress. We got to talk about what we're going to bet today, Magic. That's the important part, right?
Of course, yeah. It's Dudes Who Bet Daily. It's not Dudes Who Bet 3 weeks from now when the NFL season starts. It's right now!
Right now. And you're rocking the guns here, so I know that you're ready to go. All right, let's start it out here with Rays taking on the Astros. Pick them basically both sides, minus 110 either way. 8.5 is the total here. Really good pitching matchup here. We've got McClanahan on the mound for the Rays, 11-1, sub-3 ERA, probably your AL side. Young winner against Javier for the Astros. Surprised McClanahan's not a little bit more of a favorite. They've been doing this consistently with him where you're like, this line smells fishy a little bit. Why is it not Rays minus 125? Well, it's because the Rays have been playing like shit lately. That's why. Magic, what are you doing here?
So depending on where you shop, like I've seen 110 in some spots. You can also, FanDuel right now has plus 100 on the Astros. If you can get plus money on the Astros, take it because of exactly what you said. Last 10 games, the Rays are 2-8. Last 20, they're 5-15. Meanwhile, Houston's on a 7-10 streak. And I think maybe this is going... at least it opened rather with Tampa Bay getting a bit of a favor because Altuve's still out. Yordan Alvarez is still out for the Astros, but they had some injuries with it. So they're not 100% yet. I would still go with the Astros here. Yeah, backwards hat gang. We're backwards hat kind of guys. Colin Kalleward would not be impressed with us right now.
Or he'd be very impressed. One of the two. Jared Bush bringing it up. Well, Ellis, Laurel, Colonial, and Baltera all canceling. It's hot, guys. Stay cool. That's why Magic's in a tank top. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I like the Astros here. I'm going to wait because I think this is going to go higher. I think the Rays are going to get bet as the day goes on. And I think you're going to be able to get Astros like plus 105 by the time first pitch goes out. Also kind of like the under. If you like McClanahan or if you like the Rays here, I'd almost play the under over playing the Rays because if you like the Rays, this is like a 2-1, 3-2 win. And that's under 8.5. So I would lean toward under, first half under if you're playing the Rays versus playing the Rays, and I would take the Astros if you're going to play a team here. Should be an interesting game, though. Both teams trying to make pushes here. The AL East, obviously, a very good division. The Astros trying to kind of get a stranglehold here on the AL West as well. 2 games up right now on the Rangers. Let's head over to one of an interesting AL East matchup here. The Yankees, minus 125. Garrett Cole on the mound. Aaron Judge supposed to be back today. We'll see if he actually returns to the lineup. Taking on the O's. Total sitting at 8.5 here. Magic, what do you like?
You know, if you're going to be plus money on the O's in this situation where they're the top team in the division and the Yankees are last in their division right now, I'm going to go with the Orioles. The Yankees coming off of a homestand where they won 4 of 5 games. But you know what? 2 of those were against the New York Mets. New York Mets suck. Which, by the way, you probably knew this. The New York Mets, $364 million salary. They're just dumping guys all over the place right now. They had that rain delay last night, which was my best bet, the Mets and Nationals game. During the rain delay, the Mets traded their closer. They were just like, 97-minute break. I got nothing else to do. Let's call around and see who wants my closer. Who's warming up in the bullpen to go in for the 9th inning? No, we're going to get rid of him. And somehow they still won. Anyways, all that to say, the Yankees, they look a little hot right now. The Orioles struggle a little bit, but the Orioles were playing, Tampa Bay, who is struggling, but also the Phillies, who are pretty great. The Yankees were playing bad teams. Give me the plus money on the Orioles, Mike.
Give me the over here. I just, if you get Judge back in the lineup, the Yankees all of a sudden become a little bit more potent from an offensive perspective. I like playing overs against some of these pitchers. Garrett Cole, yeah, he's solid. He's pitched very well. He's 9-2, got a sub-3 ERA. You can't really knock him for that kind of stuff. But this Orioles team likes to put up runs. If you can get 3 or 4 off Cole, or 2 or 3 off Cole, all of a sudden this gets really interesting on an 8.5 total. So I like the over here, 8.5. I would lean Orioles, but I'm not going to actually bet the game. I agree with you. I think the Orioles is the side, but I'll take the over here instead and see if we can just get a plethora of runs and get a nice little over total here. Then over to a game we talked about yesterday and both absolutely nailed with the Guardians winning that one. We got minus 145 on the Guardians today. The White Sox taking on the White Sox, who just in a free fall, and you know everyone's going away, and you know how bad this season's been. Total sitting at 10 in this game. I really want to find a way to bet the Guardians. Actually, let me rephrase that. I really want to find a way to bet against the White Sox for at least the next 3 days. And so I have to find something on the Guardians here. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with them. If you lay the 1.5, you're getting plus 115 with the Guardians. I like the total of 10 because that means we're going to get more runs, which is more likely that someone wins by 2. So that's a positive as well. And look, this pitching matchup to me just screams Guardians as well. I'm getting the better team, better pitcher. I'll lay the 1.5 here, plus 115. What do you like here, Magic?
Yeah, I was looking right now on DraftKings to see. I can't see a first 5 line, so they might not even have one posted for this game. That would be what I do, but also I'm with you. I think that this is something they can easily win. Xavier Curry, this looks going to be a bullpen game for both the teams, but Xavier Curry has got 3 wins, no losses, just under 3 ERA. And he's got a 2.08 ERA in 3 appearances against the White Sox, all coming this year. They were all in relief, but he did do 5 innings against the Oakland A's earlier this year. And really, right now, are the White Sox that much better than the A's? Like maybe a little bit, but not that much. So I'm with you on this one. Definitely a bullpen game. So go with the Guardians on this.
We've got minus 135 for the first 5. You can lay a half run at minus 105 offshore if you want first 5 bets. So that's what we're seeing. I'm seeing on those numbers.
Okay. Yeah, I think you got the right angle. Just take the minus 1.5 and hit the plus money that way.
All right, let's jump into the race of the day here. And this one's interesting. I went with Saratoga race number 10, which on paper doesn't look like the most difficult race ever. You got Drew's Gold, who's probably going to go off at somewhere around even money in this spot. But there's a couple interesting horses I feel like we kind of have to talk about. And I thought this was one of those, like, sometimes the biggest fields are interesting. Sometimes races where you have a lot of competition is interesting as well. And we talked about New York Thunder quite a bit on the Magic Mike show. We've talked about New York Thunder on this show. He scratched out of both of those races that we talked about him. Now New York Thunder shows up here. It makes it a really spicy race with a ton of speed. Drew's Gold is absolutely going to go from the rail. Beyer probably a little inflated last time, running second to Arabian Lion. Gilmore ran third in that race. He's back here. He's 5-2 on the morning line with Irad Ortiz for Brennan Walsh. Got a 104 in that race after running a pretty good Pat Day mile as well. It doesn't look as good on paper as it was, but he had a tough trip there behind General Jim and Fort Bragg. Rivet in for Steve Atkinson. We know what he can do with sprinters. And then there's New York Thunder on the outside. The only other horse in here, Deer District, is your only closer as well, which also makes me a little bit interested in the 3 Deer District. Where are you going on top?
I'm gonna go with Rivet. I've been a big fan of Rivet for a little while now. He was really just came alive at Oaklawn Park this spring. He's now won 5 straight races and the last 3 in stakes, including the Chick Lang. He's got the ability to rate. He hasn't done it very often, but he has shown in his past races that he can sit off. Now, he hasn't been facing New York Thunder speed or Drew's Gold talent level when doing that. But it's Asmussen and it's Santana in this kind of a race. I really like him. I think Gilmore, you could key in third and just figure out who you want to put in first and second in here. I mean, Joey Freshwater scratched, so it's a field of 5. I think this is a great field of 5 because I've been a fan of Deer District for a while. It was nice to see him get the win last time at Churchill Downs, and yeah, I said that about Dale Roman's horse. Big surprise. New York Thunder, we've been super excited to see what he can do on dirt. That horse is like a freaking rocket on the dirt, but can he sustain it? That's kind of the question there as well. It is interesting. Rivet gets Santana when Santana was named to ride New York Thunder in the previous race, which was supposed to be the Woody Stevens. So he's going to show up there on Rivet riding for Asmussen. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm just very much more than anything rooting against Drew's Gold. He has a creep for a trainer. I don't even know about this. James Chapman got arrested for stalking another female trainer earlier this year at Belmont Park, taking weird pictures with her daughter. A lot of weird shit happening. That guy can go pound sand until he runs out of breath. So, I'm going to root against Drew's Gold more than anything here.
This is a really tough race. Like I've gone back and forth on where I want to go. I love New York Thunder. I think this might be too difficult of a spot going 6.5 for him. Like I wanted to pick New York Thunder when this came out, and man, it's tough to put him on top because he's going to have to go gate to wire, right? And there's a bunch of speed in here, and Drew's Gold is 100% sending from the rail. So I went back and forth and back and forth. I ended up putting Drew's Gold on top because, look, those last 2 races are just phenomenal. You're upgrading jockeys pretty good here from Jose Gomez, who I do like, to Jose Ortiz, who is a phenomenal jockey, right? If we get out of the post, which is the other issue, right? Is the one post going to be a problem here? Because you do kind of have to go from there. That's the big kind of question. I'm interested in Deer District too. I really like that last race from Deer District. The question is, can we repeat it off the bench? If so, the price fits. Kind of surprised this horse hasn't gone back to turf at some point. Oscar Performance has been phenomenal going 2 turns at turf, not been much of a dirt sire. So that's my main hesitation on Deer District. When it comes down to it, I think this is just going to be a gate to wire merry-go-round. I'm going to go 1-6 on a cold exacta and see if we can find some way to get the price there. I do respect Gilmore. I think Gilmore and Deer District are the 2 horses that run for third. I'm going to try and beat Rivet here today. I realize that it's going to be tough. I think he's going to be pretty geared up and ready to go. I'd expect he's going to sit right behind the 1 and the 6. But I couldn't get around those 2. I just thought they're the best 2 horses in this spot.
I think if I was going to do a trifecta, I'd probably go 5-1-4. Respect what Drew's Gold, the horse, can do. And again, Gilmore getting up there. You could make a case too for Gilmore getting second. If Drew's Gold and New York Thunder burn each other out, New York Thunder's probably going to throw in the towel first. And maybe Gilmore can get by Drew's Gold late for second. Get up there. It's going to be very exciting. I'm very excited to see what happens in this race. 5 horses between this and the Jim Dandy. Only 5 horses, but an exciting group of 5 horses at least. Try and find some sort of silver lining.
Yeah, this is funny. It's, Ashton's about to have a freaking kick butt 48 hours. We didn't talk about Echo Zulu. That was one of the most impressive performances I've seen in a long time. I didn't pick her. I thought I took the 2. I can't remember the Mott horse, the name of it. She made that horse look bad. She just ran away from that field. It's going to be interesting to see what she does. But Asmussen with sprinters is awfully dangerous. And not picking Rivet, Echo Zulu is like in the back of my mind, neighing at me, saying, what the hell are you doing, Mike?
Frank's Rocket. That's the horse that you were. A very, very talented dirt sprinter and just made her look crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. The ballerina is going to be fun, as Kevin mentioned. We're probably going to see Echo Zulu back there. It's going to be a heck of a race with Goodnight Olive, I'd assume, is going to be in there as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun later at Saratoga. Look, we bang on short fields a lot. The Saratoga short fields a lot of times are wildly talented, and that's why they're short. You don't have people who are going to try and take shots against Goodnight Olive and Echo Zulu all that often. We'll see what happens up with that field. We got Gunite and Disarm tomorrow as well. They'll both be running. So it's a big weekend for Steve Ashton up there at Saratoga. We'll see how that turns out. But I'm excited to watch this version of the Amsterdam because any of these 5 horses could win, and I would not be surprised in one bit.
I think part of the issue too with the small fields at Saratoga, especially compared to Del Mar, this is almost like the other edge of the sword when you have such high purses for your allowance races. When you have $100,000 plus allowance races that are going to be easier theoretically for you to win as a trainer versus a grade 2. Sure, there's the black type angle, but you've got a race where you got graded stakes for $200,000 or you've got $150,000 allowance. Like, the money's almost the same. So depending on where your horse is at development-wise, that's the better angle to go with anyway. So it's kind of partially why the field sizes are smaller at Saratoga too.
Well, people also want to get in the winner's circle, right? Yeah. And so, your chance to get in the winner's circle is significantly better when you're not facing Echo Zulu. That's just the truth. It just is what it is. But excited for the Amsterdam. Should be absolute blast here. Don't forget to check out Del Mar and Saratoga all weekend. Don't forget to check out the guys on Dudes After Dark today who are covering the early pick 5, I believe it is, starting at... It's a late start today at Del Mar.
4 p.m. Pacific, so that's why they're doing early.
So 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern there for the early pick 5 coverage right here on Racing Dudes YouTube channel, the Dudes After Dark guys. All right, let's jump into the best bets of the day before we take off here. I see you made an adjustment to yours, which means I need to make an adjustment over on the sheet. So we'll start out with Aaron's best bet here. He's going to go with the Diamondbacks, going plus 120 here. They have been fading pretty heavily here, but I don't hate the play. They're taking on the Mariners, Gilbert on the mound, Henry on the mound for Arizona. Seattle, not a great road team, 23-25. Diamondbacks going to try and get it done at home here. Did you look at this game at all, Magic?
I didn't really. It's kind of funny that Aaron went with this because I know that he likes the Diamondbacks. I'm updating my thing right now on Pick Monkey for you, so that you don't have to. Sorry, my text came in late. I realized I could get a better price on that. I didn't really do this one, but I know Aaron and Papa Dude have had a lot of fun betting the Diamondbacks, especially when they get plus money. So I get why that would be the case for him. Just wasn't the angle I wanted to go with here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. This one I thought was actually priced pretty fairly, but hey, if you like the D-backs, let's run at it, plus 120. I'm going to go to the Reds and the Dodgers tonight, and I'm going to take the over here. Look, Dodgers hit very well. You got Brian Williamson on the mound for the Reds. Not the best pitcher in the world, but not terrible. I would expect the Dodgers are going to get some runs off him, though, and that Reds bullpen can be a little shaky at times. On the other side, we've got Bobby Miller. We've talked about him quite a bit here. I loved him early. He was great early. 5 of his last 6 starts, he's given up at least 3 earned. That's not great. And so I think the Reds are going to be able to get to him as well. So I like the over 9.5 with 2 pretty good offenses against 2 pretty bad pitchers in a ballpark that the ball will be flying out. It's hot in LA today. It is going to be very good hitters weather up there in Dodger Stadium. So give me the over 9.5 here, Reds Dodgers. What do you think about this one, Magic?
I love this one. This is something that I definitely considered. The Dodgers lead Major League Baseball in overs cashed. The Cincinnati Reds are second. You have the top 2 over teams in the whole the Major League Baseball playing tonight. Absolutely. It should be. And only 9.5. This is one where you think like A's Rockies, I think, is open at like 11. That's what I thought this total would be. 9.5. I almost made this the best bet. I love it.
Yeah, I was surprised it was as low as it is. I'm wondering if it's like a Bobby Miller thing, just because of the fact that he's 6-1 and this, but he's been hit pretty hard 5 of the last 6, and the one that he wasn't was against the Mets. We talked about the Mets and their anemic offense. So yeah, let's take the over here, 9.5. All right, Magic, jump into your best bet of the day.
Yeah, so I was looking at the pitching matchups here, and originally I was doing just a straight money line bet for both of them, and then when I realized that I actually got better money, plus 161, doing the first 5. I mean, I was playing this on the pitcher angles anyway, so why not go with the first 5? It's worked pretty well. Sonny Gray pitching for the Minnesota Twins. They've got their ace going up against the Kansas City Royals, who are just absolutely atrocious. They are, let me see, record-wise, they are 1 game ahead of the Oakland A's. That's how bad the Royals are, but nobody wants to there's still nobody really talks about them. That's just how boring Kansas City is. Like, I can't imagine ever being a fan of a Kansas City team. It's just, it's yawn city out there. And then for the Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman, who's a strikeout maniac, going up against an Angels team that they looked great against the Tigers. Shohei Ohtani was, making his case for MVP pretty strong yesterday, but they're going to struggle. The A's are in I think the bottom, 4 or 5 of I don't have the stats, but bottom 4 or 5 in terms of strikeout rate in Major League Baseball, and Kevin Gausman just throws heater. So I think he's going to dominate them pretty well first 5. The bullpen gets a little shaky sometimes for the Blue Jays, so that's why I really love the first 5 angle here. But yeah, give me plus 161 on this parlay.
I like the Blue Jays as well from the travel angle. You've got the Angels who played a doubleheader in Detroit. And now are jump on a plane, have to go to Toronto. I realize it's not that long of a flight, but it's still a very long day playing 2 games in the heat in Detroit, flying over to Baltimore or to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. And Giolito has gone from Chicago to Detroit to Toronto here, and he's going to be starting. So he's been moving around as well with this team. So I like that Blue Jays side. I'm not going to tell you not to bet against the Royals because that would be just silly. You know why I love sports betting? It's comments like this. Kevin B. I know it's the Yanks, but Cole minus 125 is too good to pass up, followed by Dr. Tang, best bet, Baltimore Orioles. That's the beauty of sports betting. You got both differing opinions, so it's always fun to do it. We'll see who ends up on top there. All right, jump into the best bets of the day. Before we take off here, Magic going with Twins and Blue Jays. More money line, first 5 parlay, plus 161. Did it come up for you? It's still blank for me.
It did this yesterday to you, too. What's going on? You pulled it down and pulled it. It'll show up eventually. Maybe it's just a little tired.
If not, that's a sweet logo in the background. Aaron taking the Diamondbacks, plus 120. I'm going to go Reds, Dodgers, over 9.5 runs. For the week, we are 1-1, even money. Kind of pissed I didn't take the 5 instead of the 2 in the exacta. And there it is.
There it is.
$256. Thanks for joining us here on Dudes Who Bet Daily. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. I have no idea who is going to be on this show tomorrow. I'm going to Del Mar. Aaron's at Saratoga. Papa Dude, I believe, is around since it's the weekend. I'm not sure if Magic's going to make it, But we'll do our best to have a Dudes Who Best daily tomorrow.
I'll be here. It might be Magic and Papa Dude. We've never done that. Just Magic. We did it once for a few minutes because either you or Aaron, I think Aaron was running late, but we've never done it just the two of us. So that could be fun.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see who's here, but we'll have some best bets tomorrow. Make sure you're checking out the action all weekend. Should be a phenomenal weekend for both Saratoga and Del Mar. Don't forget mandatory payout in the pick 6 on Sunday from Del Mar. Good luck with all your bets today. We'll see you tomorrow.